Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Tania from Simple First Aid, and thank you for joining me this evening. So we're doing a stretching and fitness session, stretching session, so nice and gentle. Anyone can join. And we're going to actually do it from a chair, so anyone who's not as mobile is very welcome to join. So I just want to check that you're all doing well, and so please, if you're online, just send me a message or show me a smiley face or something. Hopefully if you've managed to get into some of the sessions this week. So we've had some great sessions. We had Winston doing bike maintenance, and that was a fantastic session this week. And we've also had Mary. She's been doing cleaning out your closet and how to sew some stuff. So she's doing some great work with the sewing bee. So please do join those sessions as well. And then we've got Sarah from Hen Kitchen, Hen Corner, sorry, who is doing some great cooking sessions. So live cooking demonstrations that you can also watch and get involved in. So really great to be part of Brentford Together project, collaborating with Friends of Catcher, the Big Lottery Fund, Global Action Plan. So it's really exciting to be part of this. So it's just really just keeping you guys connected. And since we're away from the shop and away from each other, it's just so you can feel that you're still part of us and we're still part of you, and keeping you safe. So the session, I'm just going to wait to see if there's give it a couple of minutes, see if anyone else would like to join. Also, we're going to be going, as you can see behind me, there's a first aid kit. So we're going to be talking, I'm going to be going through the kit and seeing what you should have in a first aid kit. If you don't have one, that's not a problem at all. I'm not telling you to go out and grab one. There's some items that you probably have in your kitchen that you can use if anyone has an accident or you're by yourself. So I'm going to give you some great tips there as well. So for this session, what we're going to do is just some gentle stretches. So I don't know if you've been out already and done your daily hours exercise, gone out on the bike if you have one. If you need some more tips, obviously check into Winston's session and he'll give you some great tips on maintenance for your bike. Or if you've just been for a walk around your neighbourhood or to the shops. So you might have done a little bit of exercise today, so that'd be great. And this is pretty much just for anyone. I mean, if you haven't done any exercise, maybe discuss it with your doctors first. I know you can't really talk to them much at the moment, but yeah, that's sort of just a health and safety disclaimer. But just do what you can. This is a really gentle session, and we're going to be doing it seated. So, and then we might stand and do a little bit more stretches on the floor. But we're just generally really taking it nice and easy, just to feel, you know, if we've spent a lot more time on our phones or our laptops since we've been in home. So it's like bringing our posture back and just feeling that little bit more looser and stretching. So I'm just going to take it nice and easy. So if we start off really gentle, as I said, from your seat, if you want to stand, you can. And all I would like you to do is just tilt your head from side to side, just nice and slowly. Just get some nice mobility in the neck there. We're just going to do this a few times. Back to the other side, and then back to the centre. And then we're going to put our head down and back up. Down, back up, nice and gently, and then from side to side, just roll the head down, only as far as you feel comfortable. There we go. And then I want you to sit up. Just take a nice deep breath in. Fill the lungs as much as you can. And breathe out. Do that again. And breathe out. And again. Breathe out. Good. And then I just want you to just gently roll your shoulders. Nice and backwards. And forwards. And backwards again. And forwards. And then if we come up, back and down, so really sort of releasing that tension from the shoulders and the upper back. And then if you bring your hands out to the sides, and then we're just going to get a bit of movement in the sockets of the joints, so our shoulder joints. We just rotate them nice and slowly forwards or backwards, whichever way you're going first. Nice and easy. And then change direction. That's it. Okay, good. And then we're going to bring one arm up, and then we're going to bring it across the back. And then you can either put your hand in front or on the top of your elbow, whatever's comfortable for you. And we're just going to get a nice stretch down the arm here into your tricep. And then the other side. And then either, as I said, you can push the front of the arm or the elbow, whatever's comfortable for you. Okay, and then if you bring one arm across, so now we're stretching the shoulder joint. So again, only as far as you're comfortable. And then the other side. Okay, very good. And then just shake your shoulders out. Very good. And now I just want to, if you grab your hands and then just roll them forward. So we're just getting a little bit of movement into the wrists. And then back round the other side. Nice and gently. And the other way again. So releasing any tension, you might hear them clicking a little bit. Just release that tension. Okay, very good. And then if you're seated, you could do this either seated or standing. So I just want you to turn from the hip this time. all the way around. So let's get a bit of mobility in the spine. Very gently, and then back round the other side. And then the other way. And the other side. Okay, very good. Now, if you put one leg out in front of you and then the hand on the opposite leg, so your leg is straight, so the leg that is in front of you, and then you're going to lean forward, and then you should feel a nice stretch in the hamstring. Now, you can do this standing as well. So just hold that there for a few seconds. Take a deep breath in and take it a little bit more. And swap over to the other leg. So again, take a deep breath in. Breathe out, bend forward. So keep the leg that you're stretching straight. And then the other one bent. For those who are seated, just lean as far forward that you can, that's comfortable. Okay, for you, those who are standing, if you take one leg behind you and hold on to either a chair or a table, and then you bring that leg back just to stretch the front of the hamstrings. So again, nice and gently, as comfortable as you can, that is comfortable for you. For you guys who are seated, you can just take a rest there. And the other side. Take a deep breath in and breathe out, and see if you can take that stretch a little bit deeper. Okay, good, well done. Now, if you've got a wall near you, what I'd like you to do is put one leg forward, the other leg backwards. The leg that is backwards is straight, and it's like you're going to try and push that wall away. So we're going to get a nice stretch in the back of the calf muscle. So the lower limb. For you guys who are sitting in a chair, if you want to, bring your leg up and then pull your toes towards you, and then you might get a nice stretch in the calf as you do this. And then again, if you take a deep breath in and breathe out, and just take that stretch a little bit further. Only what's comfortable for you. I know you can't probably see me very well doing this, but yeah, so the back leg is straight, the front leg is bent. You're trying to push that wall over. And again, take a deep breath in and breathe out. Okay, well done. And then if you come back to your seat, and then we're just going to now put a little bit of mobility into the ankles. So if you can put your legs, say one leg out first, and then you're just going to roll your ankle to the left. So if we do this like 10 times. and then roll it back the other way. Okay, good. And now swap over the foot. And go back the other way. So 10 times the other foot. Okay, Winston, how are you getting on? Are you a bit tighter than you thought you were? Okay, well done. And then if we stand again, so if you can just come up on your tiptoes as high as you can, stretch up, really high, hands in the air. Try and touch the ceiling. And then come back down. And then do that again. So stretch up, and then come back down. And then what I'd like you to do now, so I'm going to stand to the side. So I want you to gently roll down using your head first. Tuck your head into your chin, and then you're going to roll down and hang like a rag doll. So let everything just hang, so your head hang, your shoulders hang, and then if we can move your shoulders, release any tension. And then slowly, really slowly come back up, but stack each vertebrae one at a time. So you're coming up really slowly. So the head is the last thing to come back up. But then you roll your shoulders back a couple of times, and then we're going to go back down again. So come down, let your head lead, follow, hang like a rag doll. So you might find it a little bit hard if you've got tight hamstrings like myself. So bend, soften your knees, just let the whole body just hang. And then slowly, again, come back up, restacking the spine, one vertebrae at a time. And then roll your shoulders. If you feel any tightness anywhere else, if you want to just sort of stretch that out now, you can balance it out a bit. But that was just really an intro to get you started for our first session, just a nice and easy stretch session. I know quite a lot of you might be doing a lot more exercise that could be a little bit more strenuous. But yeah, I just thought tonight, it's Easter weekend, let's take it nice and easy, just to, yeah. Oh, Alice, you were in the garden, so you needed it. Yeah, I was in the garden too, and I was painting. So yeah, that really helped my back because I've been bending down a lot. So yeah, just to really sort of loosen you up. Hopefully you sleep better tonight with that as well. Sorry, my phone went off there and then through my laptop. So yeah, hopefully you sleep a lot better and you feel a lot looser tonight because of it. So yeah, that's just a gentle stretch session. If you can incorporate that in your daily plan for, you know, when you get up in the morning, you could try it then, or in the evenings before you go to bed. That might just loosen the body up a bit more and help you sleep better. And yeah, just feel a little bit more not so stiff. So hopefully that helped. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to go through a first aid kit. So, but before I do, I would like some of your participation. Can you, people that are online now, can you just type into the box quickly one thing that you would expect to see in a first aid kit? So yeah, if you want to grab yourself some water after that, please do. Okay, plasters, excellent. Yeah, anything else? Wow, Bruce Forsyth did the ankle exercises. I used to love that show. What was it? The one with the conveyor belt, is it? With the cuddly toy and the, I don't know, the washing machine and all the things you can remember. Am I talking about the right show here? Okay, have we got any other things that we are going to be in a first aid kit, guys? You tell me. Bandages, yeah, very good. Excellent. Excellent, Michael, that's great. Glad to see you are on here, fantastic. Hope you're well. So, the famous first aid kit. So they can be green or red. Burn gel, okay. Field dressing, excellent. So, a first aid kit. If you have one in your house, great. If you don't, not to worry. I'm going to give you some things that you can use from your kitchen. If you have any accidents, hopefully you don't and you keep safe. But so the first thing we had was plasters. So yeah, lots of plasters. Does anybody know what type of plasters you would have if you worked in a kitchen? Can anybody tell me? So we have blue plasters. So that's if any people are dealing with food, Sarah would know that if it fell off, you could see it nice and easy. Not a great thought, plasters falling off, but yeah, so plasters, lots of different sizes for like basic cuts. So yeah, just give your cut a clean, put on a plaster, and hopefully it should heal in a few days. So yeah, we've got plasters. Alongside plasters, we've got alcohol-free wipes just to help clean the area as well. Okay, yeah, we've got blue waterproof. Thanks, Michael. That's awesome. Yeah, so we've got alcohol wipes as well to keep it clean. Oh, and you can also see them in the soup. Yes, that's very good. Yeah, so lots of plasters. And we got bandages. Yeah, so lots bandages of different sizes depending on your cuts. So we've got lots of bandages here. The most important thing to check with a first aid kit, believe it or not, things like this have expiry dates. What actually happens if it goes past the expiry date, it's not sterile anymore, and it can actually, plasters become non-sticky and these start to disintegrate. So if you do have a first aid kit or you've got time on your hands at the moment, if you check your first aid kit and make sure that everything is in date. So we have lots of different size, medium, large, big, eye bandages, finger bandages there. Also, you could have some burns gel. I've got some stuff here. Some first aid kits have taken that out. You might see it more in kitchens because they would use it a lot more. They might not necessarily be in a general first aid kit, but I have one here. I think you'll know what these are since we're all wearing them at the moment. So we've got lots of packets here of gloves. So they're very important if you're dealing with a patient to put some gloves on to protect yourselves and to protect them. We've got eye wash. So again, sterile eye wash if anything gets in your eyes or their eyes. What else do we have? We've got some tape as well, tape to help with bandages, but most of the bandages now you can just tie up, but if you do need to secure anything, we've got some tape. So when it comes to bandages, we've got the triangle bandage, and this is for a sling. This is probably the most, this is the bandage that probably gets used the least, but it can also be used if somebody has got a really bad cut, and you can actually use this to help stop the bleed as well. But I will show you how to use the triangle bandage in one of the sessions that we do. It's a little bit tricky, but quite fun to do. So if anybody wants to practice that, let me know and we can put that into a session. So yeah, triangle bandages. And we've got some other sort of dressings here as well that you can secure with the tape for a lot more smaller but deeper cuts that you can use. An ice pack. So this is instant that you can just break, and if anyone's got a sprained ankle, that we can help treat that and keep it cool. And you could wrap it in your, because we don't want to put ice directly onto the skin because it will burn. So you could actually grab a triangle bandage and then wrap the ice pack into the triangle bandage and then place it onto the ankle. Also, we've got, oh, this is very cool. These are actually, I'm surprised that I've got this in this kit, but I'm glad I have. These are stickers for children. So if they've had something, you could give them a nice little sticker and say, well done, you're a star. So I think that's probably the best thing in the first aid kit. Also, we've got scissors as well. These aren't actually the right scissors. You should have some what we call tough cut scissors that are a weird sort of shape, that are plastic handles to cut through clothes. And please ask, if you do need to ever cut through somebody's clothes, please ask them beforehand, because if you're cutting through their best designer clothes, I don't think they'll be very happy. But if you need to get to the wound, we do need to use the scissors to get there. We also have plastic tweezers. They should be plastic instead of metal, because metal can they can rust and they can also sometimes get affected. So it should be plastic, one-use tweezers to get out any sort of splinters. And also we've got a face mask in here as well. So if you ever have to do mouth to mouth, obviously at the moment that would not, we would just do hands only CPR. But if you were comfortable to do mouth to mouth, there's a face shield that actually protects you from them when you give mouth to mouth. And then also we've got so a manual. In a real life scenario, we won't have time to go through the manual, but it is a little booklet, but it does give you some information about, well, it has got resus in here. It also has got more minor things like a nosebleed. And so that's quite good to have a little booklet in here as well. And also sometimes it might actually have like a list here. Mine it doesn't, but sometimes they have a list of everything that should be in your kit. But the main thing is just to, you know, check that everything's in date, and yeah, that things haven't expired. Replace anything, because I think you use the first aid kit and then you put it away, and then when you come to actually use it again, you haven't got the stuff that you need. So if you do start using a first aid kit, then remember to like top stuff up again, and you can do that from, say, Superdrug or Boots. They have all the stuff that you can get to put into your first aid kit. If you were thinking about getting a first aid kit, at the moment, obviously, we're at home and we're housebound, but if you do have a car, I would say you're more likely to it be handy to keep it in the car, because I feel that quite a lot of people just put it in the cupboard and they forget about it and they just grab something in the kitchen. So yeah, if you do want to keep one, you'll probably use it more likely in the car when we're allowed out and allowed to be out and about a lot more. So that's our first aid kit. Is there anything, any questions that you've got on the first aid kit? Well, I'm just going to tell you things not to have in a first aid kit. Would be things like, well, if it's your own personal one and it's for your family, then you would know what, if they had any allergies. But generally, the rule is we don't put medications into your first aid kit. So no sort of creams, no Savlon. You can keep those obviously in your bathroom cabinet, but the first aid kit is really, yeah, just the bandages and the things that we've gone through. So no sort of liquids, creams, and no medication either. So because then if somebody else grabs your first aid kit, then you know, they might also, you know, use the medication. So the rule of thumb is, yeah, no medication and no creams and potions. Okay, I'm just gonna, oh, that's a great question. Technically, they should be, it would be good if somebody made some bamboo biodegradable ones, because these are, at the moment, they are just plastic and disposable. I mean, I think they can be recycled. I would have to check that. That's a good thing. But I think they are plastic, one use only. Great question. Safety pins. Yes, you can have safety pins. They're very handy as well in your first aid kit. Green and red first aid kit, there isn't a difference really. It's just that they're bright and that you can see them. There isn't a difference in colour, just really. Yeah, they're just depending on what the company chose at the time, or but generally they're the same. You can either get a red one or a green one. If you don't have a first aid kit, there's a couple of things that you can use in the home. So a tea towel. So if somebody has cut their hand or cut their finger, grab a clean tea towel to put pressure and stop the bleed. You can also use a tea towel with a bag of frozen peas if somebody's got a bump to their head. So you would wrap, or a sprained ankle, so you could get your frozen peas, frozen veg, wrap it in a tea towel, and then place it either on the ankle or on the head, instead of using an ice pack if you don't have one. If we were not at home and we were out having a barbecue somewhere, and somebody burnt themselves, either on the barbecue or knocked a hot drink on their hand, then you can use any cold liquid to cool that burn down. That means milk, orange juice, fizzy drinks, beer, wine, anything that is cold can go straight onto the skin to cool that burn down. Once you've cooled that burn down, I'm not saying work through a 6-pack, but if that's the only thing that you've got at the time, then we need to cool that burn down before you get to a cold water source. And then we want to cool it for at least 10 minutes. So under cold running water for 10 minutes. And then we would grab cling film. So this, what we would do is, once the burn is completely cooled, and you've done your 10 minutes, and I mean 10 minutes, not a couple of minutes and blow on it, I mean 10 minutes. I know it's time consuming, but who's had a burn that you're doing the dinner and you burn your hand on the oven and you quickly put it under there and then it starts stinging again? It's because your skin is still burning and it's going deep into the skin and you haven't cooled it down effectively. So you do need to cool it down for at least 10 minutes. Even 20 if you can, depending on how severe the burn is. And then what you do is you get cling film. Imagine that I've burnt my arm. Then you just place the cling film over the hand, just like this. So what this does is 3 reasons why we use cling film. 1, because cling film only sticks to itself, so it doesn't stick to the skin. 2, it stops infection. So if the skin was that damaged that it starts to blister. And 3, it actually stops the pain that is caused by the air irritating the burnt nerve endings. So if you do have to go to hospital, they will absolutely love you if you've wrapped it in cling film, because then they can just take one look at it and then decide what the treatment is from there. We recommend that all babies and children and the elderly must go to hospital if they've burnt themselves. Doesn't matter how big the burn is, it's just because their skin is a lot more sensitive. Okay, so the best household equipment, so cold milk, water, cool it down, put cling film on it, and so that will keep it clean and protect it. As I said, you've got your tea towel for cuts and sprained ankles, or bump to the head with your frozen veg or peas, and yeah, they're the main things that you really need. So if you've got a first aid kit, great. If not, you can use these household items. Just checking again what the questions are. Okay, Mary asked about why not Savlon. Again, with Savlon, and that's a good question when it comes to burns as well. So if you've burnt yourself, we don't recommend you put anything on it. So no Savlon, no, we wouldn't actually put burns gel on it either. Well, depending on how severe it is. If you're going to need to take it to hospital, if it's really severe, then, excuse me, that when we get to hospital, they're going to need to, whatever you put on there, they're going to scrape it off. and that's actually going to be time consuming and quite painful. So that's why we say no creams. Like maybe a few days later when you know it started to scab and heal, you could, but at the first instance all we want is the cold water and the cling film to keep it clean. I mean, if it's your own first aid kit and it's just for you and your family and you want to throw everything in there, you can. I'm just saying if like you're using it in a more when other people have access to it, that's why. And in the workplace as well, they don't have any sort of creams or medication in a workplace first aid kit because lots of people have access to it. And Alice said, is the cold water on burns to stop the blistering? It is to prevent, it's to cool the skin down. It's actually to take the heat out of the skin, and it is to prevent blistering, but it's also and to prevent scarring actually, because the quicker we get onto this, so even if I was at a barbecue and instead of just running straight into the kitchen, I would probably still grab a can of drink and put that straight onto the skin, like immediately while I walk to the kitchen or while I run to the kitchen, and then put it under the tap, because as soon as I get cold liquid onto the skin, then it's going to prevent the scarring and prevent the blistering. So as soon as you can, I do need to act quickly on this one. Cold liquid, and then run to the cold tap, and then hold it under there for 10 minutes minimum. And it needs to be running water as well, because if you immerse it in a bowl of water, what that does is it heats up the water in the bowl, and because you're not getting that constant flow, it's not going to cool it down effectively enough. So I know we want to save, you know, save on water sometimes, and that is great. It's just for this scenario, we do want that constant running water to take the heat and prevent scarring out of the skin. Okay. So guys, that's just a quick, well, we've been here for about almost 45 minutes, some stretches to get you nice and loose, and hopefully feel, you know, you've been in the garden, you've been sorting out the wardrobes, you've been doing some jobs around the house, so it might help you just sort of ease up a little bit. And also, yeah, just giving you some tips on first aid kits and what to do with a few different injuries. Does you guys have any other questions at all, or anything, any topics that you're interested in covering for me to cover next time, do you think, that you can think of off the top of your head at the moment? So yeah, if you do have a first aid kit, this would be a great time when you next go and do your shopping to just check on it and see if you need to put anything to update it. If not, don't worry. But yeah, it's just something handy to have. Okay. So I'm going to try and do a different topic. So probably carrying on with the stretches. If you want something a little bit more more energetic, let me know. But if you want to carry on with just like, let's do the stretches and maybe add to the stretches or something like that, do let me know, guys. If you, so today was on first aid box. I think we're going to cover choking. So what to do, how to help somebody who is choking. I'm also going to talk through baby, child and adult choking, because they are slightly different. So that'll be probably our next session. And then we're going to probably do bleeding, like different types of bleeds, because they're the next serious thing that can harm us. So, and also how to do bandages if you've got bandages at home, or if not, well, when we do the sessions, hopefully when we all come together, we can practice this together. But I'll show you, talk about different bleeds, and so there'll be a different first aid topic each session. So today I thought it was just a nice starter just to show you about a first aid kit and just sort of refresh your mind on a first aid kit to start with, and then we can break down the rest of the other topics of first aid as well. Well done. So if you put water, you've done, just burnt it a tiny bit. Water, if you can keep the cling film on to stop the pain, and later on, I'm sure Sudocrem will help ease it as well. So okay, eye injuries, we can cover that, and maybe some injuries, Winston, if you want to. We can have a chat about, biking, cycling injuries, and what are those common injuries, and how we could probably incorporate those into the session as well. Yeah. Okay. Well, guys, it's Saturday evening, so I'm going to let you enjoy the rest of your evening. But thank you so much for being here, participating. Mary, with your great questions, and same with Alice and Winston. Thank you very much, guys, and everyone else who has watched the session. Oh yes, very good. Sunburn. Yes, we can cover sunburn. Yes, it's out in the garden a lot more now. I'll probably do a topic on burns itself, a bit more detail on burns, because we've also got, there's cold burns, there's chemical burns, so we could do an actual topic on burns as well. But if you want any, if you think of any questions after this session, or I can definitely just pop it in a message, or I can so that means, and I can send you some more info. But thank you again, guys, for participating. Hopefully you enjoyed the session, and have a lovely rest of your Easter weekend. Stay in, stay safe, keep washing your hands, and enjoy the lovely weather. Thank you very much.